Welcome to the Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health's monthly magazine, Meeting of the Minds. I'm Karen Zarcidias. In this month's Mental Health Minute, some fresh air could help you feel much better. That's according to researchers at the University of Glasgow. The university's study found getting regular outdoor exercise can boost your mood and lessen your stress levels and fatigue. Engaging in activities in natural environments like parks and woodlands instead of indoor places like the gym can have positive effects and greater benefits to your mental health. So researchers suggest going outside and walking, running, or cycling for your health. Hope, Wellness, and Recovery is our department's motto. With more about what DMH is up to, here's a message from our director, Dr. Marvin Southard.
Today I'm going to talk a little more about the relationship between stress, anxiety, and how our coping instincts can lead us astray. One of the natural reactions that sometimes occur under the pressure of constant stress is the temptation to pull back, retreat into our internal fortress, and harbor the suspicion that everyone and everything is trying to do us harm. This can be a big mistake. Pulling back from the normal activities that give structure and meaning to our lives can make the impact of stress greater and deepen the experience of sadness and anxiety. But what should we do? Experts suggest three things. First, create positive expectations, because the expectation of negativity sometimes creates it. Second, open yourself up to new things, new experiences, and new expectations. And third, if you have a belief in a higher power, appeal to the Spirit for support. The bottom line, if you are feeling sad or anxious, try rebooting with a new attitude. Sometimes it works.
Thank you, Dr. Southard. We like to share stories and tips on wellness and recovery on this show. With more about this in our Walk the Talk segment, here's Kathleen Pichet.
Thanks, Karen. My guest today is Veera Calloway. 20 years passed between the time Veera Calloway experienced her first major depressive episode in high school and her decision to seek short-term therapy in New York City. Even then, Veera didn't understand the role major depression played in her life until she lost a job here in Los Angeles. She drove past South Bay Mental Health and ended up stopping one day because she knew something was wrong. She never lost a job in her life until then. Therapy and participating in peer-run groups at South Bay led her to becoming a peer advocate. She now works as a service extender at the Older Adult Program at Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health Contract Agency, SSG. Welcome, Veera. I'm so glad you could be here.
Thanks, it's good to be here.
What happens when you get very depressed, when you're at your worst?
When I'm at my worst, I usually shut down. I mean, it's like between night and day. I shut down, I don't talk to anybody, I isolate myself. When friends call, I don't answer the phone. And even with my family, it's very hard for them to get a word out of me.
That's
so
pretty
it's
common.
Pretty debilitating.
That people tend to do that, tend to isolate when they have some sort of mental illness. What do you do to get out of that depression?
I have to go to my rap book. You know, the Wellness Recovery Action Plan is great for me. It's kind of a reminder of the things that I really enjoy doing. For example, visiting my niece and nephews and playing with them because they're pretty young and they're really fun to be with. I call friends. I do yoga and meditate as well. My RAP plan usually goes into effect when I realize that I'm isolating myself. And then after that, I have to open my RAP book and look at some of the things that I really enjoy doing, like cooking a fantastic meal for dinner, and do all the things that I should be doing, but that don't really come up or come to mind when I'm depressed.
So isolating yourself, is that one of the things that you notice that sort of urges you to, do those things?
Yeah, that's right. I isolate myself. I don't really talk to people. I don't want to go anywhere, even to get groceries or things like that. And I kind of just shut down.
When you went to South Bay Mental Health, what kind of treatment helped you the most?
Well, individual therapy helped a lot at first, and then I started really coming out of my shell after I started attending peer-run groups. And, for example, Coping Skills, Recovery International, those have helped me a lot, especially being able to meet with other people who have similar problems that I do with depression.
What would you tell someone who is in your shoes if they were just looking to feel better?
I think, a problem with me was always self-stigma, and I think that's why it took so long for me to finally reach out and try to get some help for myself. So I think the most important thing would be to just, realize that you can't do it all alone. Mm-hmm. Things aren't going to happen overnight. So I would suggest that they go to one of the county mental health clinics and seek help. And
okay. It's interesting you say self-stigma. Now, how do you define that?
Self-stigma, when you're ashamed, mental illness is that. It's an illness. And, it's not really something that you have control over when it happens. So I know that when I was first diagnosed with depression, I was really ashamed. And, I had to force myself to go to therapy and to visit the clinics. But eventually I saw some of the rewards. It began to pay off. So, I realized that I didn't want to be depressed anymore.
Great.
Yeah.
What does hope mean to you?
Hope, gosh, I think hope means for me to be engaged, in society, for me to help others. That gives me hope.
Mm-hmm. To be part of a community.
Yeah, and to get away from just thinking about myself.
Yeah, that's really important.
Yeah, it helps to help others.
Yeah. If there was someone watching today that might need help and was maybe afraid to ask, what advice would you give them?
I think the first step would be for them to recognize that there is something wrong. And after that, to realize that mental illness strikes a lot of people. They're not alone. And the LA County Department of Mental Health has a lot of clinics. And I'm sure that whoever it is who's experiencing the problems, would really, really get something out of stopping by one of the clinics.
Mm-hmm. There is help available, and
yes.
People want to help.
Yes, that's right. But the first thing would be to recognize that you do need help.
Right. Thank you so much, Veera Calloway, for being here on the show.
You're welcome. It's good to be here.
Back to Karen.
Thank you, Kathleen. And that's the show for this month's edition of Meeting of the Minds. To learn more about the Department of Mental Health and for more information about DMH's programs and resources, you can always visit the website anytime at dmh.lacounty.gov. You can also follow us on our Facebook page and watch our Profiles of Hope videos and PSAs on YouTube. Just search for the Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health or LAC DMH. And if you or someone you know is in need of help, you can call our 24/7 access line at 1-800-854-7771. That's 1-800-854-7771. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again soon.